My grandparents are leaving Korea soon, and I just realized that I never took a proper good portrait for them here. So I'm going to spend one day fixing that. Allow me to introduce the Grandparents Portrait Challenge! The rules for this challenge is that one day to use the same camera and same lens to capture as many real versions of my grandparents as possible. And by saying real versions of them, I mean that my portraits have to somehow reflect their personalities. But there's only one problem right now, and that is I have no idea how to take a good portrait. So that's why I started this challenge by watching a whole hour of YouTube tutorials on how to take better portraits. Literally a whole hour. And I still don't really understand it. But I decided to take on the challenge anyways. Why? Because why not? Smart. So as soon as we arrived at the park, the first thing I noticed was that how many people there were. Make sure you watch to the end because I'm going to let my grandparents rate my photos. Like, it's like a swarm of bees or like just 1,000 ants gathered all in one cluster. I just knew instantly that I was not ready for this. Like, there's way too much people there. Like, I'm kind of shy for it. As you can see, my grandma has already tried her best to pose, but like the quality of my photos, they were still questionable. Like, just simply questionable. Like, what the, like my blood pressure increases watching those photos, man. Like, they're like worse than garbage already. They're like just god tier garbage. Although those first three photos were indeed quite traumatizing, quitting is just not my thing. At least in terms of photography, it's not. Others. So I basically just spent the next 2 hours trying to take as many photos as I can, trying to gain as much experience and to take better shots after each time. And then out of nowhere, boom! I just suddenly got this brilliant idea. So as you can see, there's a lot of people walking on this road. So I just thought to myself, why can't I utilize this as my advantage? So this was the plan. First, I needed my grandparents to stay still. Second, I needed to use a slow shutter speed. Third, I needed to wait for a crowd of people to pass my grandparents. The people around my grandparents will be blurred because they're moving, and therefore, the first thing people see when they look at this photo is my grandparents, because there's the only clear subject in the photo, and that's something that is naturally appealing to the eye. And with a couple of trials and errors, I got something like this. It is simply beautiful. You know, sometimes I just wonder to myself, how am I this talented? Like, how am I just that good at photography? It doesn't even make sense. Sorry, I thought that it'd sound like much cooler, but anyways, I selected 10 of my best portraits I took of my grandparents, including the one I just showed you guys, and I'm going to let them rate it. So, yeah. we're gonna see how it goes.
可以啊，
你俩先
这不挺好
看一
的吗？
会儿。这是这个花园，然后这是这个你俩背影。
然后就是
After a while of serious discussion among my grandparents. So for number 10, we have the results. My grandpa rated it a 8 out of 10, and my grandma rated it a 9 out of 10. Wow. And to save you some time, I'm going to show you all the photos ranked from number 9 to number 4. Hey, not bad, right? But now, it's finally time to review how my grandparents ranked the top 3 photos I chose. So this is the third best photo I took of my grandparents, and in this photo, I cleverly used the angle to make my grandpa look really magnificent. And if you ask me, I also cleverly used the rocks as a foreground to portray this image as something more interesting. But the important part after all is how my grandparents rated it. So let's see what they have to say.
哇，这个好，这个打10分。
10分，我打9分。
And here are the results. Drum roll. My grandpa rated it a 9 out of 10, and my grandma rated it a 10 out of 10. I know. Thank you. This is the second best portrait I took of my grandparents, or my grandma, if you must specify. What I really liked about this portrait is that the light shining on her face is just really at the right timing, because this was in the afternoon when the light was so bright. So I really like that. It kind of guides the viewer's eyes onto her face, which is ultimately what we want in a portrait. So let's see what they say. My grandma rated it a 4. She said that her face was too big and the light in the background was too dark. Isn't that what a portrait is supposed to be? Anyways, this is the best photo I took of my grandparents on the trip. I kind of showed you guys this one before, but generally I'm just really proud of it, so I'm gonna show you guys again. Sorry, but it is what it is.
故意要虚的，
哦，故意要虚的。
我不是当时
我们是拒绝的嘛，
对
台湾同学嘛
我。让你俩站着不动，就是为了让他们虚。清晰的。
They both rated it a 10 out of 10.
Yes!
Remember to like and follow, and I'll see you guys in the next one.